Everyone, let us discuss this result. So in this result we have f and g, two functions which are defined on closed interval ab. Both of them are Riemann integrable on closed interval ab, and we have to prove f plus g is also Riemann integrable. See, we have two different methods to prove the function is Riemann integrable. Either we can prove that upper integral is equal to lower integral, and the second method is epsilon definition, or you can also call it as Riemann criterion. So I am going to follow the second method to prove the f plus g is Riemann integrable. Okay, so for that we need to have one epsilon. Let us take one epsilon first. Let epsilon greater than 0 be given. After that, what will I do? I will use the given information one by one. The first information is f is Riemann integrable on closed interval ab. Let me write. We have function f is Riemann integrable on closed interval ab. So I can follow the epsilon definition for this function f also. So let me write. Therefore, there exists a partition P1 of closed interval AB such that, we can use the definition, that epsilon definition u P1f minus L P1f is less than epsilon. See, I am going to do adjustment. Instead of epsilon, I will write epsilon by 2. Okay, so this is 1. See, we have a second information also. G is also Riemann integrable on closed interval AB. So let us use that epsilon definition for G also. Let me mention. Also, we have a second information. G is Riemann integrable on closed interval AB. So therefore, we can write the same. There exists a partition P2. Let me write. There exists a partition P2 of closed interval AB such that u P2G minus L P2G less than epsilon is there actually, but again I will do adjustment. I will write epsilon by 2. This is 2. But see, the problem is that the first equation or first inequality is true for partition P1 and second is true for partition P2. So what will I do? I will take a common refinement. Okay, let me take. Let P is equal to, so P is equal to, I am considering A is equal to x0, x1 and so on. Xn is equal to B common refinement. Okay, so it's a common refinement of P1 and P2. See, we are already seen what is meaning of common refinement. That means P is a refinement of P1 and P is a refinement of P2 also, right? So what can we say? So when we take a refinement, upper sum will reduce and lower sum will get increased. So that's why we can write. So therefore, P is a refinement of P1. So therefore, UPF is less than or equal to UP1F. So since P is a refinement of P1, so upper sum will reduce. So we have already seen in our previous videos. Let me call it as 3. And lower sum will increase. That means LPF greater than or equal to LP1F. After that, what will I do? I will multiply both sides by -1. So what will we have? Minus LPF. So you know that when we multiply by any negative number, inequality will get changed. So minus LP1F. So I am calling it as 4. So let us add 3 and 4. Let us see what will happen. Adding 3 and 4. In left hand side, UPF minus LPF we will have, right? Since it has already minus sign, if you add, then it will add with minus sign, so we'll have minus here. Next, less than or equal to, in right hand side, UP1F minus LP1F, since there is already minus sign, getting? But see, UP1F minus LP1F, that means UP1F minus LP1F less than epsilon by 2. So let me write, this is less than epsilon by 2. From 1 we can write, from 1. Okay, so therefore let me write UPF minus LPF less than epsilon by 2. This is a very important thing we have got. I am calling it as star. Okay, so here we have we use the information that P is a refinement of P1. Similarly, we can go for P2 also. That means P is refinement of P1. So similarly, P is refinement of P2 also. Okay, and what we write for f, that can be written for g also. So let me write similarly, okay, similarly we can, in a same line we can prove that upg minus lpg is less than epsilon by 2. Okay, see, we are saving our efforts since we are simply mentioned similarly. In the same way we can write p is a refinement of p1, similarly p is a refinement of p2 also, right? So we will get this one. There is no more space to write. Make a screenshot of it, then we will go further. So let us define few things now. Okay, so now we are defining small mi. So you are familiar with the definition of small mi. This is infimum. So small mi dash is infimum of f of x, where xi minus 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to xi. That means when we take a partition, the original interval will be divided in sub-intervals. For each sub-interval, function has some minimum value and some maximum value. So that minimum value will be mi dash, okay, for function f. Similarly, we can define for function g also. So let me call it as mi double dash. So infimum of g of x, okay, same thing we have to write here, and mi, which is infimum of f plus g of x, getting. So that means first mi we defined for f, second mi we have defined for g, and the last mi is for f plus g. Similarly, we can define capital mi's, okay. So mi dash is equal to supremum of, so capital Mi, that means we take a supremum f of x such that same xi minus 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to xi. This is for g, supremum of g of x. Will you guess our capital Mi will be for what? This is supremum of f plus g of x, okay. Again same thing we have to write. See, when you take separate supremum, okay, so value will get increased. So therefore what can I write? Let me mention clearly capital Mi is less than or equal to Mi dash plus Mi double dash. Actually, see, we have defined all these things for all I. See, I should mention here for all I. Here I will mention for all I running from 1 to n. Okay. See what we do here, Mi. Supremum of f plus g, okay, and mi dash means supremum of f, supremum of g. That means when you take separate supremum, possibly value will get increased. So that's why this type of inequality we will have for all I running from 1 to n. So what will I do? I will multiply both sides by delta xi. You are familiar with delta xi, that is nothing but xi minus 1, length of that sub interval. Let us multiply. So therefore mi delta xi less than or equal to mi dash delta xi plus mi double dash delta xi. Again, this is true for all I running from 1 to n. Okay. See, let us go further. We have some space. Let us use. Now this is true for all I, so we can take summations also. So therefore, what will we have? Summation I running from 1 to n, capital Mi delta xi. I am taking summation of both sides. Summation I running from 1 to n, capital Mi dash delta xi plus summation I running from 1 to n, capital Mi double dash delta xi. Are you familiar with this summation? Capital Mi delta xi means upper sum. This is upper sum of f plus g, getting, since capital Mi is a supremum of f plus g. So here we get a upper sum of f plus g, up f plus g less than or equal to mi dash means supremum of f. So this is the upper sum of f, upf, and obviously this is upper sum of g, upg. I am calling it as 5, okay, inequality number 5. See, let us go further. See, we wrote for capital Mi, similarly we can write for small mi also. So clearly small mi is greater than or equal to small mi dash plus small mi double dash. This is true for all I running from 1 to n. So that means if you take separate infimum, value will reduce, getting. So mi means infimum of f plus g, mi dash means infimum of f, and mi double dash means infimum of g. So that means if you take separate infimum and then you add, so we will have possibly less value. So that's why we get this type of inequality. Same procedure we will follow. We will multiply both sides by delta xi. Let us see what will happen. Small mi delta xi greater than or equal to mi dash delta xi plus mi double dash delta xi, I running from 1 to n. Okay. So same type of thing we are going to do. We will take summation of both sides. So therefore, summation I running from 1 to n, small mi delta xi greater than or equal to summation I running from 1 to n, small mi dash delta xi plus summation I running from 1 to n, small mi double dash delta xi. Summation small mi delta xi means lower sum LPF. So I should write LP, but see, small mi means infimum of f plus g. That means we will have the lower sum of f plus g. Similarly, this is a lower sum of f, LPF I should mention, since mi dash stands for infimum of f. And this is similarly lower sum of g, right? Now what will I do? I will multiply both sides by -1. So when you multiply by -1, inequality will get changed. So minus LPF plus G, here we will have less than or equal to. Actually we had greater than equal to, but when we multiply by minus sign, okay, inequality will get changed. So yeah, this kind of inequality we will have. I am calling it as 6. So let us add 5 and 6. Let me mention adding 5 and 6. See what will happen? What is left hand side? Let us add left hand side plus UPF plus G. Okay, minus. Actually we are adding, but it has a minus sign. That's why I'm writing minus LPF plus G. Okay, left hand side is over. Let us talk about right hand side. Now we will add these two terms. UPF minus LPF. Actually it has minus sign, so that's why I wrote plus. Let us add last two terms, UPG minus LPG. But you remember in star, in inequality number star, we have already stated this is less than epsilon by 2, if you remember. So this is less than epsilon by 2 from star, and in double star we have stated this is less than epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2 from star and double star. So I should mention from star and double star. So what is value of epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2? Epsilon. So therefore UPF plus G minus LPF plus G is less than epsilon. So Riemann criteria is satisfied and we can declare yes, f plus G is Riemann integrable. Let me make a screenshot of it, then we will go further. So therefore we can write this, okay? UPF plus G minus LPF plus G less than epsilon. So Riemann criterion is satisfied and we can declare yes, f plus G is Riemann integrable on closed interval AB. So this part we have completed. See, after that we have a sub-question. That means when we take integration of f plus G, we can take separate integrals. Already we have used it several times, but now we have to prove it, okay? So let us see how to prove. So what will I do? I will start with, let me consider u f plus g. You are familiar with that. This is nothing but upper integral of f plus g. So what is the definition of upper integral? Its definition is infimum of upper sum. You getting? So u p f plus g, where p is a partition, I'm writing short, partition of closed interval AB, right? So P is a partition of closed interval AB. So whatever the different upper sums we have, so its infimum is nothing but upper integral. See, but we have already proved, that means I think in inequality number 5 we have stated that when you take separate upper sum, value will get increased. So that's why we can write this is less than or equal to infimum of UPF plus UPG. Okay, so we have already stated in inequality number 5. And see, if you take different infimums, okay, if you take different infimums, what will happen? So definitely we can write this is less than or equal to infimum of UPF, where P is a partition of closed interval AB, plus infimum of UPG, okay, where P is a partition of closed interval AB. So what we get, this is less than or equal to, see, you know that this is nothing but UF, upper integral of f, and this is nothing but upper integral of g. So what we get, upper integral of f plus g is less than or equal to upper integral of f plus upper integral of g. So let me write it there, okay. So we can write this in directly also, okay. So that is, let me write, that is what we get, that is more important. Upper integral of f plus g is less than or equal to upper integral of f plus upper integral of g. I am calling it as inequality number A. So similarly, we can prove, let me mention, similarly, what can we prove? Lower integral of f plus g is greater than or equal to lower integral of f plus lower integral of g. I am calling it as b. But we know that upper integral is always greater than or equal to lower integral. So let us use that thing and combine a and b. So let me write from a and b. What can we write? Lower integral of f plus lower integral of g is less than or equal to lower integral of f plus g, but lower integral is less than or equal to upper integral, and upper integral is less than or equal to upper integral of f plus upper integral of g. But we know that function f and g, both of them are Riemann integrable. So therefore upper integral is equal to lower integral is equal to actual integral. So let me mention, but we have the information f and g, both of them are Riemann integrable. So therefore upper integral of f is equal to lower integral of f is equal to actual integral. Getting? Similarly, in case of g also, upper integral of g is equal to lower integral of g is equal to actual integration of g. So let us use these things here. So what can we write here? Therefore LF means actual integration a to b f of x dx, right, plus integration a to b g of x dx, right, g of x dx less than or equal to lower integral of f plus g less than or equal to upper integral of f plus g. Sorry, I should write here upper integral of f plus g less than or equal to what we get? Uf, but uf is equal to this integration again, integration a to b f of x dx, getting, plus integration a to b g of x dx, which is value of upper integral of g. So this is a very important thing we have got. Okay, there is no more space to write. Make a screenshot of it, then we will go further. Okay, so what can we write further? See, you know that when I write 2 less than or equal to a less than or equal to b less than or equal to c less than or equal to 2 again, getting, then what can we say? Yes, a, b, c, all of them are equal and having value 2. So same kind of thing we have. See, you can easily see our left hand side, this sum of these two integrals, and the right hand side, that is also sum of these two integrals. So we are having starting and ending point same, so the middle all terms are equal and having the same value. So therefore we can write here, let me remove this one. Okay, so therefore what can we write? Integration a to b f of x dx plus integration a to b g of x dx, which is equal to lower integral of f plus g plus is equal to, which is equal to upper integral of f plus g. Getting? Since all of them are equal, we say, since starting and ending points are same. See, if upper integral and lower integral are same, we say the function is Riemann integrable, and that is nothing but the value of that integration a to b f plus g of x dx. So in this way we proved. Let me remove this one since you have already taken screenshot of it. Okay, yes, so make a screenshot of it, then we will stop. Thank you, bye bye.